I would like to present you LACE, the Laboratory for an Applied Circular Economy. In a sense, our laboratory is the lowland of Switzerland. When I say we, there are 3 research institutions. Caroline Frankenberger, she's working at the University of Luzern. We have the University of Lausanne with Anne-Christine Faber and Stefan Narat that are involved. And myself, Roland Tichier, I'm working at EMPA in St. Gallen. We have as a transfer partner, knowledge transfer towards industry, we have Sanu Durabilitas in Biel that are involved in our project. And in a laboratory, you need some kind of Versuchskaninchen in German, I would say. We have 8 companies that are involved in our projects across Switzerland, from Lake Geneva with Logitech or Nespresso, almost to Lake Constance with Tisca, Tiara that are in Bühler in the canton of Appenzell. The objective of our project is really to transfer the knowledge, the ideas of the circular economy into the Swiss economy. So we try to consolidate practical knowledge for a transition into the tissue of the small and medium-sized enterprises that we have in Switzerland. We would like to demonstrate that the principles of circular economy can be applied in these companies in an ecological and economically sustainable way. The final product in that sense of our project shall be business plans for the different companies that are participating to the LACE project. The working principles that we have is an application of inter- and transdisciplinary approaches. We try to collaborate from the beginning on between research and our project partners and the business in order to really try to have a bottom-up implementation of the principles of a circular economy in these companies. And all this somehow according to a change-oriented philosophy. For this, we can look on this picture as a kind of a flower of our project, where we have the 3 PhD theses that will be ongoing at EMPA in St. Gallen, at the University of Lausanne and the University of Luzern. We will have the knowledge transfer with our knowledge transfer partner and then the partner companies for a practical feasibility of the content. On the side of EMPA, we will look on, let's say, the material energy flow side, so on the technical feasibility of circular economy. The starting point is that we assume that circular economy is not always equal of being sustainable. Sustainability of recycling depends in the end of the efforts that you have to put into a recycling process. And therefore, based on MFA and LCA, we would like to develop during the next 3.5 years a framework in order to evaluate circular economy strategies on a company level. And this should then lead to a practical manual how companies can integrate this into their framework. The second thesis at the University of Lausanne is dealing with the legal complexity, so with the legal framework, looking or starting from the hypothesis that raw material regimes do not have a decisive impact, at least in Switzerland, but that the Swiss regulatory regime for waste management has a very significant impact at the moment. And therefore here, the objective is to get some progress in the analysis of these resource regimes in the field of the resources for the manufactured capital coming out of these companies, resulting on some strategies for the 5 sectors that we have in our project. And the third thesis is looking on the business profitability, starting from the hypothesis that sustainable business models design different from existing ones, and that they can also lead to superior firm performance. In the end, what should come out of this thesis here is then the core elements for these business plans for the companies. So we have the 3 theses going across these 5 sectors that the companies are covering. They all will end up in individual documents, but elements of all these theses on a horizontal level will be put together to get input, feedback for the companies involved, and we try to come up also with some general guidelines for further companies in these sectors, maybe also for other sectors, in order that they can apply circular economy. Try to have a continuous exchange in form of workshops across the partners, so the research and the business partners that we have within our project. We will publish regularly newsletters from our projects, the business plan as the final objective I already mentioned. Very shortly here, the objective of the first workshop, really bringing business partners research together in order that we can clearly define and agree on the results that we want to achieve. So what I can tell you about the projects, here the contacts, we have a project manager that started to work this month, so she should be the central contact point for questions. Thank you.